Thank you for watching this regional forecast for the Northeast. I'm Andrew Pritchard, meteorologist with Nutrien Ag Solutions. We've got a big cold front that's making its way from the northwest to the southeast across the midsection of the country this morning, just now making its way through where I live here, our office in Champaign, Illinois. It was 65 early this morning, 65 degrees. That front made its way through around 6 o'clock this morning. It's already down to 46 here, so a drop of almost 20 degrees over the first couple hours this morning. So it is a big difference between the warmer air mass on the east side of this, where it's still in the 60s and 70s, and that warmth now spreading into the northeast region in advance of that approaching area of low pressure, but much colder air coming in on the backside. And while it feels like an abrupt change here, again, some sections in the middle of the country here 20 to 30 degrees cooler than they were 24 hours ago, we'll see that front making its way across the northeast region here as we head through the day today, clearing the region entirely by the overnight tonight. It is a brief change as we kind of resume the pattern that we've had over the last 7 to 10 days, and we'll talk about what that means here in a moment. Along that cold front, a big area of showers and storms stretching from the Great Lakes all the way down to South Texas. We can see that when we look at the national radar picture here early on Friday morning. We do have a low risk, a marginal risk for a couple strong storms across primarily portions of Pennsylvania and New York, and then western portions of New Hampshire, Vermont, getting into Massachusetts, Connecticut, Long Island, New Jersey, northern portions of Maryland as well. Again, the low risk that one of these storms could produce some gusty winds, and then an even lower risk of maybe an isolated tornado. The timing on that, well, it's going to be as the front sweeps across the region, interacting with that warmer and humid air mass in advance of the front. It looks like we'll see storms popping up across western portions of New York and Pennsylvania during the midday hours, right around noon or 1 p.m., and these storms will be in little line segments right along that cold front, racing from west to east across the area, getting into eastern portions of Pennsylvania and New York by the time we get to around 3 or 4 p.m., pushing into portions of New Hampshire and Vermont, Massachusetts, getting into Connecticut, the Long Island area back into Maryland as we head into the evening hours, and then these storms will really be dying out quickly as we get into the late evening hours and then moving offshore during the overnight. So it's really a midday, kind of noon to 5 p.m. Threat really kind of focused in on this area, and the threat being really some damaging wind gusts, maybe 50 to 60 mile per hour wind gusts, and at the very, very low risk of maybe an isolated tornado here, but I think it's really going to be some gusty winds as these storms race across the area. Now, looking at the next 10 days, our precipitation forecast on the left, again, you see things remaining active across not just the northeast, but all the way back into portions of the Corn Belt. And then fairly high probability that we could see some snow here. We're looking at the 10-day probability of 3 inches or more accumulating across the northeast region. And we do see kind of a wide area pegging some of those higher totals here. And we'll talk about when that snow arrives here in just a moment. Now, again, I mentioned the cold front moving through feels like an abrupt pattern change, but by and large, we keep the same pattern in place over the next 7 days, and that is one that features a trough in the west with little pieces of that breaking off through and moving west to east across the country here every 1 to 3 days. We can see that looking at the vorticity plot here again, keeping troughing in this region, and then every 2-3 days we see a little upper level wave rotating around the base of that trough and ejecting across the midsection of the country, and that again, that's what keeps things active anywhere from the Midwest into the Northeast. Now, again, looking short term, watching this first storm system moving through the region, watching that chance for some isolated storms, strong storms moving from west to east across the area during the afternoon hours today, with some light snow flurries possible overnight across portions of the north. That'd be northern, upstate New York, New Hampshire, Vermont, and Maine. And then this system exits, leading to a quiet Saturday and likely a quiet Sunday for us in the Northeast before the next wave begins to move in early next week. Take a look at that next wave here with the European model. We'll look a little bit further. Again, high pressure Saturday and Sunday. It should be a chilly but quiet weekend across the Northeast. So as we head into Monday and then into Tuesday, we'll see our next system begin to move in again, coupling with high pressure out of the picture to the left, and then this approaching wave. We could end up dealing with our, one of our first nor'easters across the region, really all season. And we'll really have to watch how this evolves, and we'll take a closer look here in a moment. But as of now, we're looking at the forecast now for noon Monday, 6 p.m. Monday, midnight Tuesday, now Tuesday morning. Now let's take a closer look at this one and kind of time it out. Again, watching the rain exit late today, quiet Saturday and Sunday, quiet Monday morning for folks in the east, but folks in the west will start to see that snow or rain start to move in early Monday morning, especially across portions of Pennsylvania and New York. So then again, just timing this out, we're looking at midnight Sunday night. Here's Monday morning. This will be the Monday morning commute. Lunchtime on Monday. 6 p.m. on Monday now, and then we're seeing the heaviest snow now falling across portions of upstate New York, New Hampshire, Vermont, getting into western Maine, portions of Massachusetts. Right now, the European model keeping that rain-snow line kind of focused somewhere between Long Island and Massachusetts here, southern portions of Vermont and New Hampshire, or southern portions of Massachusetts, we'll say Vermont, New Hampshire, and Maine looking to be firmly in the snowfall. And then as we head into midnight Monday night, and now Tuesday morning, seeing that storm system begin to exit to the east. So again, we'll really have to watch this closely. We'll check back definitely with the update on Monday morning, because we'll start documenting some of the potential changes we could see between now and then. This storm system's still 3 to 4 days out into the future. We could see north or south adjustments. We could see this thing speed up. All of those impact the amplitude and the location of the storm system and where we might see some of that snow. But right now, looking like the possibility, at least fairly high north of that line, that we could see some accumulating snow. And then as you get into the mid-range here, kind of still on the 50-50 side, could pick up some snow, but it may be that we see that rain line shifting north just a hair. We'll look at the probability from our ensemble models, the European on the left, the GFS model on the right, the probability of more than 3 inches of snow accumulating. And again, the European model fairly gung-ho with this across northern portions of Pennsylvania, much of New York, and then Massachusetts, New Hampshire, Vermont, Maine being in the higher probabilities, that cutoff right kind of across the state of Connecticut there. And again, this is subject to fluctuate north or south over the coming days as well. As we look at the total liquid precipitation over the next 6 days, taking it into Friday morning, again, from north to south here, looking at the potential for 2 to 3 inches of liquid precipitation across Pennsylvania into New Jersey. A little bit lighter as you head further north, maybe just a few tenths to a half of an inch as you get into northern portions of Maine. And again, that the total liquid precipitation over the next 6 days as these storm systems continue to move over the area one after another. We deal with that Monday, Tuesday storm system. That'll be the one we're focused on, trying to understand if we're going to see that accumulating snow. But as we head into Thursday, Friday, and Saturday of next week, we have additional storm systems that'll be moving through the area as well. So we'll look at your high temperatures then for the next few days. Again, warmest today as that storm system approaches the area. The cold front moves through during the afternoon and evening, so big changes are on the way from the 70s across the region today. Same areas that are going to be seeing those 70s today and the 30s and 40s tomorrow. The high temperature is going to be the warmest across portions of Maryland and New Jersey, where we'll still hold on to highs in the 50s. Cooler still for the day on Sunday. High pressure parked over the area will start to warm up Monday into Tuesday, but this is when we see that high impact storm system moving across the area with the potential for some accumulating snow. Have a great day, a wonderful weekend, and we'll talk to you again on Monday morning.